Okay, what's
You
up,
know, it's
Dragon
funny.
Ball fam? It is your boy Eddie Hilaire coming at you live today with my boy Juha's the nine drop sin is fair and balanced deck profile. Yeah, Juha, bro, I'm gonna go ahead and let you talk about your deck real quick, man.
All right, so like the deck says, the nine drop sin is the most fair and balanced card in the game, of course. So Bandai does not need to hit this card clearly. Uh, so I've been playing Sin for like a while, so I decided to, since I did good in Texas, I'm like I might as well just play Sin again. So I guess this is my deck profile for the deck since I didn't actually like record it after I topped with it. I got 12th out of 212 people, I think. So I missed top four, so I didn't get the nice in Shenron. So I still have to use my ugly nine drops instead of the really nice, pretty ones.
That's rough, B. All right, let's get into it. So the first card we got is the Oceanus, man. Talk about it. I'll just click it and you can talk about
So the Oceanus is basically the main searcher of the deck. She searches literally every single card in the deck except for the nine drop. When you discard her from your hand, you burst one, you look up the top five, you grab basically any Shadow Dragon. And her most important use is that the Omega Shenron can copy her to give itself barrier blocker, and when it swings, it rests something, and if it's an energy cost of two or less, it KOs it.
Cool, cool, cool. Next card on the list is your boy Ice throwing the Kung Fu fighting kick, man. Talk about this bad boy.
So Ice Shenron is basically four more copies of your one star Dragon Balls.
Mhm. Okay.
And also you can bring
Speaking
it
of
back with
the
the
devil
Noah.
himself, we
There it is.
have negative
So
energy one star ball. I'm just gonna unclick the next three because these next three are gonna be in the chain. We have the one star ball, the four drop, and the nine drop. I'll let you talk about this chain real quick. How good it was. Was it overrated? Was it underrated? I'll let you take the floor.
so basically between the Oceanus, the ice, and the one star ball, you have literally 12 copies of the one star ball, which is what you want to open with turn one every game. And out of 8 rounds, multiple matches that went to game three or went to game two, out of all those games, there was only one time where I did not open the one star ball, and I had to play the one star ball on turn two. So basically, the one star ball plays the four drop, and then the four drop stuns their leader, and then you go into the nine, and then the nine basically turns off most decks, and most decks have to play around a 30k blocker revenge, um, walking bloodlust. When it dies, you draw two cards, and then you get to play the ball again and restart the chain. Basically, the nine drop and the four drop are basically why Sin is, I guess, as cancer as it is. And whenever people side against Sin, they side basically just to kill the nine drop. They side like max power Kamehameha, the Realm of the God cards, the Bardock Overrealm that warps like six or higher. It's all to clear the nine drop, which is why I don't know if I should be saying this early into the deck profile, but
They'll see it.
that's
They'll see
why.
it in a second. They'll see it in a
Okay,
second.
okay,
We'll
okay.
move on to the next
I'll say
card.
it. Okay, I'll say it for later. Okay.
The next card,
Oh,
four
and
big.
there's Omega Shenron. Go say what you're gonna say about him, Eddie.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so this Omega Shenron, in my opinion, is by far the best card in the deck. Like sure, the nine drop is super broken for sure, 100%. But the Omega Shenron is what lets you do so many different plays. The Omega Shenron is a one cost 30k that draws a card, and it becomes anything you need it to be. It becomes Oceanus. It becomes a 30k barrier blocker that rests and KOs things. It becomes a 30k double strike. It becomes a 30k. It can become a haze. It can become the Natron Shenron that's a poutine. So it can become a 30k double strike poutine. It Even in one game, I had to literally copy Nova because my Nova got negged by the UI Goku. So I had to warp the Nova using the Omega to use the Omega's effect to bring back the Natron that I needed to, so I could have both Natron and the nine drop on board. So that way I had a Bloodlust and a Poutine. So now they couldn't play the Jiren Goku SPR or the God Rare. So that it basically completely destroyed their turn. So the Omega Shenron just does literally everything for this deck. And this card alone is the reason why Control and Aggro Sin, in my opinion, are still like both viable in this format.
Okay. How about this guy? The winter promo.
I don't even have the winner promo. I was using the gold one. That's so this Eddie knows this is like my favorite card in the entire game. Like it's a 1 energy triple strike 30k. There's so never ever ever top out against me if I'm playing Sin Shenron. I will play this card and like win the game. Even if like I've had games where I have like 3 cards in hand and my opponent has like 9 and they're at 3 energy. I'm like, I'll pay 1 for this guy, swing, draw a card, and then dump my hand, and it's like, okay, I just won the game. Like this guy and Celzino are like how I steal games.
Okay. Next card. I think he played. Yeah, these are the 3 1-0s he played for the Shadow Dragons. I'll just pop them open.
Okay, so yeah. So the Natron, the one that's a Poutine, I would play more copies of it, but I just didn't have deck space for it, and I wanted to keep the deck at 50 cards.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really good. Like the ideal turn 3 play. So obviously you want to have your 9-drop on turn 2, and ideally you want to do a Nova, and you want to do Nova's effect to bring back the Natron. So you have the 9-drop Sin plus the Natron plus the Nova plus 2 energy open, which you could potentially pop the Nova for Omega and then use Omega to copy Oceanus. So you could literally have a 9-drop Sin, a Omega with barrier blocker, a Natron, and an energy open. And then turn 4 you play Mechi, and then you awaken, and that's the ideal play, like the ideal turn 3. I actually did win a couple games with just the double strike. Like they Valiant Raise I swing with the triple strike, they Valiant Raise, and then I'm like, all right, I'll swing with the 15 double strike and I'll combo all the dragons I just soul charged and all the cards in my hand. Because he's 15k, so he gets under Valiant Raise. And then the other Natron is absolutely terrible. I didn't learn my lesson from Texas, but I'm like, oh, maybe I'll play against Mel. Maybe I'll play against Janemba. So he bottom decks 3 dragons when he's played and he gains dual attack, but this dude is horrible. Don't buy out the 20k dual attack Natron.
So in
that
other
dude's
words,
horrible.
you took it out after Texas.
I didn't play a single mill deck all day.
I told you if I were to go to Cali or I would go to this event, I'd play Janela and you put it back in, huh?
That's exactly what happened. That's literally what happened.
I'm dead. All right, these dice 4 cards.
Oh, the Nova Shenron. Okay, so if there was another Shadow Dragon that was almost as important as the Omega, it's the Nova Shenron, because the Nova Shenron is a 1 energy. You can bring back not anything, but you can bring back the Natron Shenron. You can bring back the Ice Shenron. And if for some reason you don't have a Dragon Ball or an Omega on board, or any Sin Shenron, you can even bring back the 4-drop Sin Shenron. So for 1 energy, you could play the Nova. Assuming you had another Dragon on board, you could play Nova, switch him to Rest Burst 2, play the 4-drop. With its skills negated, and then you pay 1 to go into the 9-drop for almost free. The Nova and the Omegas make Celzino. The Nova lets you spam the board. The Nova is how you play the Natron for free, because there's no way you would pay 3 energy for the Natron. I mean, in some scenarios, maybe you might to play the Natron for 1 energy instead of 3. And also the Nova sets up your drop for your turn 6 soul charge because he's bursting 2. There's been games where I don't have an Oceanus in drop and I burst 2 with the Nova to bring back Natron or Ice. And then I pay 1 for the Omega, and then I copy the Oceanus that I just milled off of Nova. Like Nova and Omega open up so many combos besides just, I'm going to play the 9-drop and pass every turn until I win.
Yeah.
Haze is Haze. It's you get Kid Goku, and it's a double striker when you soul charge it. That's all there is to say about Haze.
Pretty much in your unison package.
It's fair and balanced, just like the 9-drop. All right, so Mechi and Goku Black. So I'm still playing 5 unisons because I want to awaken with a high life total. So if I can play Goku Black on turn 3 and then awaken, and I still have the 9-drop out, then I'm in a really good spot because I have a walking 30k Bloodlust blocker, and I have a unison a blocker that will also potentially clear the board. Because there's games where like once I see Mechi in hand and I'm like, okay, I could play Mechi, I'll swing with the Goku Black to clear their board. Then I'll do the -1 to clear another card. Then I'm just like, okay, now I'm gonna pay 4 for Mechi, and then I'll do the plus. Like assuming they had a wide enough board, I'll pay 4 for Mechi. I'll do the +1. I'm like, all right, so now that card is in rest mode forever. So now I have Mechi is just so broken, and Goku Black is just more copies. Against aggro decks going second, you don't want to rely on Mechi Cabra. So you want to play Goku Black to awaken faster against aggro decks.
Okay. The God card.
And yeah, they're both really good. Oh, that is how I won not every single game, but almost every game I won with Celzino. Like this, for those of you that watch me in Texas, I spammed it out every game, and in this regional, I did the same thing. In this deck, this card might as well not even be eroded. This card might as well have the exact same effect it had. It might as well be uneroded in Sin, since a lot of the games I'm like stalling to turn 5 and higher. So I almost in some games I'll do Celzino on turn 5 just to like destroy their hand, and then I'll swing with the quad strike. And if the Celzino kills you, cool. If it doesn't, all right. You have one turn to kill me after I just crippled you, because next turn I'm gonna soul charge all my dragons, and I still have a 40k single strike on board.
Okay. This next card says it all in itself. You can see in his face. He's like, bro, I'm a super combo. Play me. So we're going to go to the next one. Talk about these bad boys.
That Eddie, why don't you tell me how good you think this card was this weekend?
That card was as good as Bandai telling you there's an event in 7 days, less than 7 days, man, and expecting it to be sold out, bro. Let me put it like that.
Yeah, I charged this card every game that I played, and I cited it out every game that I played. This card is really good against blue, and it's horrible against everything else. And I played all red decks. I played all red decks, one black deck, and one blue deck that wasn't really a blue deck. It was a blue deck, but it did not play like a blue deck. So this guy was just terrible. It was one of those cards where it's like you're already in a winning position, so you don't even need to play it.
Correct. And these last two are extra cards. I'm just going to flip them both over. These are only extra cards you play.
All right, so I went with 2 Flying Nimbus over Forbidden Power, because I know that there are some Invoker players, and I know that they're playing the new Android 17, so that makes the deck a lot more powerful. So I wanted to have an actual hard negate for when they play Apex. It's like, okay, I can at least stop the attack, instead of like, if I Forbidden Power, it does nothing, and then it's like they just dump everything and I like lose. And then Power of a Super Saiyan is Power of the Super Saiyan. There's no better feeling in the world than when someone swings, they combo 2 cards, they tap 2 energy to play the dual attack Divine Presence, and you're like, all right, Power of a Super Saiyan.
That's rough, man. Yeah. As a one of, that is rough. All right, let's see if we can get into the sideboard really quick.
Do you want to? So the funny thing about the side is, do you want to just do almost all of it at once, or?
Yeah, we can. I have it all shown right now. The main deck is on with the sideboard. It's all up.
Okay, because. All right, so I don't see anything right now.
Oh yeah, my screen. I'll show you. It's ordered. The first 4 is Dolphin. The one's Ball for the Dolphin and the actual Dolphin. Then the 2 8-drops. Then the 1 Cooler. Then the 2 Dragon Thunders. And then the 2 Dark Kings Final Flash.
Okay, so basically I sided into the aggro chain, because SS4 Vegeta is the one deck that I was most terrified of, because there's a player here in California, shout outs to Tommy V, that's all he plays. I expected him to be at the top tables. He was literally my most feared person. I'm like, if I play against him, I think I'm just gonna lose this match. So a couple of days before the event, I literally borrowed a friend's SS4 Vegeta deck, and I'm like, okay, let me borrow your deck. It's because I wanted to play the deck. I wanted to see how I could beat it. and I got paired up against Gogeta Zeno and I lost because he rushed me down. And then I got paired up against Red Broly the final round of that locals, and I got pitted to death. And I realized I'm like, okay, so the way to beat this deck is you have to rush it down. So I'm like, all right, so I'm just gonna side the Rage Chain, and if I play against SS4 Vegeta, I'll just rush them down. I didn't play SS4 Vegeta a single game, but the aggro version of Sin was still very powerful. I sided it in almost every game, and a lot of people were caught completely off guard. And I won a lot of games on like turn 3 or turn 4 because they basically started their turn 3 or their turn 2 with like 3 life, and they were crits too. So they have like 7 cards in hand. They have like 3 life, and I have like 13 cards in hand. So it was just all right, bro. That's I'm just rushing you down. I'm basically playing aggro Sin. So shout outs to Eddie for also suggesting that to me, because he told me you should play one version of Sin game 1 and then game 2 side into the other version, because then people will side in correctly against you. And that actually happened. I saw people were citing a bunch of anti 9-drop cards, and they did like absolutely nothing, because I'm like I should have told the UI Goku, I'm like, you might as well charge all those Realm of the Gods that you cited for my 9-drop that I cited out.
Damn, it sounds like that Eddie guy
And
knows what he's talking about, huh? It's pretty cool, man.
yeah, he's pretty
let's,
good. Yeah,
let's get into the next couple cards you got.
oh yeah, so the cooler, I wish that I cited more coolers, because cooler is just cooler. Cooler's broken.
Hmm.
I just didn't have the space for it because Russell Stelter was there, and he was basically my number 2 most feared person, because I did not want to play a Sin Mirror against him and like lose. So I felt like I absolutely had to side to Dark King's Flash
Hmm.
just for the mirror match, just for Russell. Me and him didn't get paired up, so that Dark King's Flash was completely dead. I didn't play a single Sin Mirror, so that card did not get sided a single time. Dragon Thunder was very, very good, because it's basically it's a final flash, it's a bean, and I didn't know this, but apparently it can turn off the Tragedy Overground. And because it can, so if SS4 Vegeta plays Tragedy, you just lose the game. But if you swing and with leader and activate battle, do the Dragon Thunder, you can choose the Tragedy Overground and Bloodlust the field, and then you can just be like, all right, now I'm gonna soul charge my dragons.
Yep. It's not just tragedy. It's anything. It's not battle card. It's just choose a card in your opponent's battle area. So
Yeah. But of course, obviously, you can use it as a final flash. So you leave an energy open and you're basically safe. Obviously, no one's gonna shotgun on a double strike or triple strike when you have an energy open.
yep,
But in some scenarios where they're like desperate enough, they might have to, and it's be like, all right, call a Dragon Thunder.
yep. All right, and the last 2 cards you talked about it before, just for the mirror matches, the Dark King's Flash, man. So any shout outs you want to give before you go?
Of course, shout outs to Eddie, of course, for play testing with me and suggesting that I side deck into a different version of Sin. Shout out to, I don't remember if it's Eon or Eric Hill, but one of the Hill twins was like playing aggro Sin again, like very recently, like as of like 2 weeks ago. And it showed me, I'm like, damn, aggro Sin is still like alive and well.
Hmm.
So shout out to Hill twins, I guess, for showing me that it's like, okay, you can still play aggro Sin in this format. Shout outs to all the people that came with me. Shout outs to Rashad from Bad Beats, because he talked to me before the regional, because he was like, all right, bro. Like, shout outs to everyone that was supporting me, because this regional was, I guess, very important to me. I really, really wanted to get top 4, because I wanted that nice in Shenron. I didn't get top 4. I got 12th, but whatever, close enough. Shout outs to everyone on Team FOE, of course. And yeah, that's basically it.
All right, man. Appreciate you that profile. Look forward to seeing you next time.